The coolest thing just happened. I came in here and there's a moth flying around, and I have to like catch the moths and get them out of here because otherwise they'll like lay eggs on my plants, and then the little cabbage moths they'll like eat my cabbages and stuff. I don't know who did this, but like somebody got one of my peppers and ate the top of it. Ooh, did a little bit too much. Anyway, I just came in here to catch a moth and got one of these like little cups and a piece of cardboard, and I just like held up the cup and the moth flew right in. And like normally I have to kind of like chase them around a bit and stuff to catch them, but I think I have them trained now. I think they know that I have to catch them in the cup and get them out of here. That's pretty cool. Anyways, today I'm making a video about making cornbread and some greens from the plants in my garden, and vegan pulled pork. And then if I have the energy and time, I might also make some strawberry shortcake, or maybe like tomorrow or the next day. We'll see. So as far as like the greens, I'm just gonna start out by like harvesting some of the stuff in here that the cabbage worms already kind of got at. Those are still fine. And these are actually gonna get planted out soon. You know, they're not really like that big to be harvesting yet, but something that I have noticed over all of my years of fail gardening is that the insects and the aphids are actually like, they're a little bit respectful sometimes when it comes to when they attack the plants, and mostly they start going after the plants once they have like a little bit of decay to them, when the plant is getting old. And so if you like are harvesting regularly the lower leaves of your greens, then they're less likely to get attacked by like aphids and stuff like that. Because once the lower leaves, I don't know, they probably put out some kind of an odor or something like that that attracts the insects once they're starting to yellow and turn. So yeah, if you just get those out of there, and it also like makes you know, less areas where the insects can actually get on the plant and climb up it. So it's just, you know, a lot of people I've noticed on gardening channels, they want to wait to harvest everything until it looks like it does in the grocery store. And I don't know, for me, whenever I've done that in the past, that's when I get issues with insects. So, ooh, this one's really bad. It's all slimy. Ew. I'll get these. I thought with the greenhouse shelving that the slugs wouldn't get up here and get the plants, but they still find a way and climb everything. So for the greens that I'm going to be cooking today, it's just going to be like a mix of all kinds of random stuff from the garden. And then I'm also going to put a little bit of dill in there because I have a lot of that. I have like tons of dill started in my grow shed. So I'll put some fresh dill. Let's see. There wasn't really too much that I wanted to get out of here. Oh, it's so pretty. This plant here I just discovered out here this morning, and like I kind of just like threw a bunch of stuff out here. Like, well, I made another video where I planted out a bunch of stuff and it all like bolted and, which is fine, but I didn't know what this was, and it turns out that it's rapini, which is like, I think that's what it is. I actually googled. I should have looked up like the leaf, but it's like a broccoli that tastes like wasabi, which I'm like so stoked about that. And I have more seeds. So today, what I'm doing is I'm pulling out all of the plants that got leggy. Not all of them, but the ones that I want to use in my greens. And then I've got a bunch of stuff that like got leggy over here, and since I have so many plants in the greenhouse and the grow shed that need to be planted out, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull all of these. And like I said, when the plants start to like go to decay is when you start to have issues with aphids and stuff. So these are like really borderline because the flowers on here are starting to die. If I left these out here like another week, they'd probably get infested. So, and the flowers are edible. So that'll look pretty in my greens. Got a couple of these. These are some big ones, some big leaves, so that'll be yummy. I'm having a whole struggle with these strings and everything to get these out of here. I should have set up my camera on a tripod so that I have both my hands. That would have been useful. So I'll get these couple of ones also. I just planted out the sunflower here, grew to this size. It's like a foot and a half tall. It grew to that size inside of the cracky bucket, and so when I planted it out, I didn't know if it was gonna make it because it's just gotten so used to having the water roots, so I had to stake it up. But it looks like it's making it. Like for the first couple of hours, the leaves were all like wilted and it looked really pissed off, but now it looks happy. Looks like the roots found their way in there. So just yank these out. That gives me a bunch of extra space. The thing about having a small garden is that you really have to like, I don't know, if you want to grow a lot of food, you gotta stay on top of like harvesting things so that you can keep putting more stuff in. So I'm just gonna pull some of this off. I didn't actually think that I would get that much to make greens with. I mean, it's just me here. Like, I'm not making a huge meal for a lot of people, so I don't need that much, but I thought it was just gonna be like a little bit. I still have to like clean up the roots and stuff of the ones that I cut or pulled out. I'll leave that one for now. Ooh, this one's getting all attacked down here. That's not even good. Okay. I'm gonna stop this and then I'll just show when I'm done harvesting because my back hurts. I can't do this. Alright, so I'm gonna start out with the cornbread before I like start cleaning and sorting the greens, because the cornbread can be baking while I'm doing all of the other stuff with the greens. So that is 2 cups of cornmeal. And cornbread is one of those recipes that's like you can modify it a lot of different ways. So, um, just kind of like what I've done to make cornbread over the years is just like kind of a mashup of like all kinds of different recipes that I found. Um, what I think is good. So, 2 cups of cornmeal, 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Um, I had some interesting stuff to talk about in this video because like last couple of days have been pretty interesting. Some of my friends are really good cooks and they would probably watch my cooking videos and be like, wow, that's really amateur. Like, why would she even post that? That's dumb. And then other friends of mine are like, don't even know how to make rice. So if I even have friends. What's a friend these days? I have a stalker. I have people who like lurk and don't interact with me at all. Um, anyway, a teaspoon of baking powder. And this is a half a teaspoon because I didn't feel like digging around for the teaspoon. Put 2 of those. A teaspoon of baking soda. Baking soda. I need to start like working with my Alexa device or something like oh, Alexa's listening.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Yeah, most people aren't. Let's see, a teaspoon of salt. Um, I gotta start working with it to that's actually okay. So that the one that just responded on my computer, I have a dot speaker, and the one that just responded on my computer is actually it belongs to my friend Harold. But I have the app for his on my computer because he's blind, and so it's something that we're trying to like work out. Like he doesn't have a phone, and he's like living in a trailer, like out in the boonies, and so. Um, I got him one of those so that he could at least like listen to like podcasts and music and stuff like that. But then I also figured out that we can like message back and forth if I have hit the app installed on my computer. So yeah, I have his on there and then mine's over in the corner over there. Um All right, so 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. I will, of course, leave the recipe in the description. And also, when I edit the video, probably put somewhere, as I'm going, what I'm adding. Um, let's see, flax seeds, 2 tablespoons of flax seeds. Mhm. Let's see, this is 3 tablespoons of maple syrup. Um, those guys. Okay. It's supposed to be like a quarter cup of whatever like the oil is that you use. A can of coconut milk. So yeah, like I said in a previous video, in this video, my friend uh Harold, um, who lost his vision, and so I've been helping him out, and so I got some good news for him. If any of his friends end up seeing this video, um, that his his social worker got him approved to move into like it's like a building that where he'll have his own room or apartment or whatever. It's probably just gonna be like a studio apartment, and then it has like a shared kitchen area, and then they have a staff on site that'll kind of like check up on him and stuff. Um, so that will be really good because he's in like a really bad situation in the trailer that he's living in. I mean, he's lucky to have that he's not like um the people that took him in like they could have just left him to go homeless or whatever, but they're doing what they can, and so um we're just like trying to get him out of there. Um so that was good news to get today. Um And the other thing that I wanted to talk about that's crazy, I talked to my brother last night, and this guy, I was in the army for 12 years, and he like briefly lived with me and my one boyfriend that died, who had also been in the army. And me and my brother, like we kind of grew up together on and off at points when we were kids, but we were both in foster care and stuff. We like briefly lived with our grandparents at the same time. So somehow in all of that, he like neglected to ever tell me that he had been in Air Force ROTC for 2 years. I did Marine Corps ROTC when I was in high school, and I know that I've talked to him about it, and like I've talked to him about the army and all this stuff. But all of a sudden last night, he he drops it on me that he was in Air Force ROTC when he was a teenager, and they went to this like training exercise kind of thing at one of the local bases where they were doing land nav, and I guess he like somehow got separated from the group when they were out in the woods, um, and he got lost, and he ended up like in an area where they do like mortar fire practice. And normally there's like signs up with like warnings and stuff, but he said that there weren't any signs, and that he could hear the mortars, and that it like sounded like they were getting closer. And so he was like trying to figure out like where to go to get away, and he went the wrong way. And a mortar went off right next to him and like knocked him out. He said that he flew back and hit his head and got knocked out, and then he woke up in the back of a Humvee, and because they had found him, and he actually, while he was in high school, we like without having actually enlisted in the military, got a Purple Heart. Um, they didn't give him like the Purple Heart medal itself like you would get in the army or in the military like when you're injured in combat, but they gave him a Purple Heart ribbon at their at one of the ceremonies that they did. So as somebody who served in the military, I feel like that counts. Like if he had died that day, uh that would have been a huge deal. Like like the military killed some high school kid, you know, like that would have been all over the news. Like shit would have gone down. People would have been in huge trouble. You know, the ROTC program would have been in huge trouble. So and also it was like he was injured while he was in, you know, military affiliated training. So that's kind of crazy. Like my brother got a Purple Heart when he was in high school and never told me about it. Even though like all these years that you know he knew that I was in the military and stuff. He said that he just like never really thought about it. Like didn't think that it was a big deal. Um, which is just crazy. But the fact that he was knocked out, like he probably got a concussion that might have to do with like I mean, he was like heavily medicated and stuff when he was a kid. They had him on lithium and Ritalin and all these things, and so that kind of like he was a normal kid. I felt like just like kind of hyper, and my grandparents were taking care of him, and so they're like older and didn't want to deal with all the energy. I think was what the situation was. Um, and when they put him on those medications, he just turned into like a total zombie. It sucked. Like, you know, you could stand in front of him and like wave your hand in his face and snap and make funny faces and all this stuff, and he would just be like blank, staring forward. It sucked. Like took the soul right out of him. But you know, that in addition to you know, prison and the fights that he got into in prison and you know, I'm sure he's got like a lot of damage. And so he has some he's got like functional autistic traits now. And it's not that bad, but it's just a thing where like he repeats himself a lot. You know, he'll tell you something and then he'll say it like three or four times in a row. Um like he doesn't think that you heard him or something. Or like he doesn't realize that he's like saying the same thing over and over again, which you know it's not that big of a deal. But then also last night he was telling me about like when he was in prison and his like cellmates and stuff that he had were like serial killers and mass shooters and shit. And like he's not like that at all. The reason that he went to prison was because like some girls had seen the movie 13 and so they were like wilding, you know, and their parents were letting them just run around all feral all over town and and so they both there were two girls and they both lied to him about their age and you know he hooked up with both of them and then they went they like there was like some kind of a jealousy issue that went on like you know he was kind of playing them you know and because he was young he was only 21 years old um and they I believe were 15 and like I had when I was like 15, 16, 17 years old, I had boyfriends that were older, that were like 10 years older. So I honestly like I don't think that it's that big of a deal if you're like still in your 20s. There's a lot of situations where like um you know the teenagers are still your peer group. Or like in my case, it was because I was goth, and so there weren't really a lot of people that I could relate to. Um, and anyways, yeah, I feel like if you're in your 30s, then you know better. Or like if you're in some kind of a position of authority where you've gotten training, um, you know, where they have expressly forbid that kind of stuff and you know better. But with him, it was just like it was a small town and there were kids and um we have younger siblings that were like, the same age as those girls. And so it was like all of them kind of hung out together and stuff. So he ended up in prison for 10 years. Um, he lost his entire 20s. And so he's like, it's really a messed up situation. Um, because he's like still to this day, he has like all kinds of restrictions. Like he can't go outside of the county. He has to like he can't move. He has anywhere that he goes, he has to get permission. Um, like he has a really hard time finding employment and housing. And then he was trying to go to school to college. And I guess he was just like a couple of classes away from his associate's degree when they put up one of those like child predator notices in one of the common areas at the school. And he had a job at the school. He was getting good grades. He was doing well. And then people started attacking him at school. And and then so recently he had a job for almost a decade at Taco Bell, which, that sucks. So he has to work fast food, but at least they hired him. And he said that everybody treated him like family at the place and it was chill. And so let's see, set this to 350. Um, so he had that job, and then the county they have like a Facebook page where they post the notices of child predators, and so they put up his thing for that, saying that he's, whatever the level 2, level 3 sex offender. And so then all these people that follow that group um like contacted his employer and complained. They like called the owners of the company and stuff. And they also like went to the actual location where he worked and started like screaming at him while he was at work and stuff and got him fired. He didn't like react to them or anything, but the company just fired him. And actually, like the manager that he worked for quit over it because she was like, um, at first they tried to get her to fire him and she refused to do it. And then they had to like send somebody from the district to fire him basically. And she was like crying and begging them not to. And because he had worked there for so long and they were like family, everybody looked out for each other there. So it was just like it was really cruel that that happened. Um, so he is like currently trying to find another job, which is like, really stressful for him. Um, but anyway, so he was in prison and just saying. So he was in prison as like this kind of like not he wasn't like a crazy violent kid or anything with like serial killers and mass shooters and stuff. And he said that like he didn't he got into some like really brutal fights. Like he said that there was a fight where he like detached the guy's jaw and the guy had to like go get his like face fixed afterwards. Um, like, um, my brother always grew up like he was into like Ninja Turtles and stuff when he was a kid, and so he was always like trying to be a ninja. Um, so he's like pretty good at fighting. He he wanted to go into MMA, but I told him like that would be a really fucking stupid thing to do. And there's gonna be like all these little bugs in here, and I don't want to kill them because I'm too much of a softie. I told him that it would be like really stupid to go into MMA because like why would you want to like get brain damage and like end up retarded for other people's entertainment? Like it's just not worth it. So he didn't do that. His girlfriend wasn't okay with it anyways. Um, but yeah, this poor guy, like we went through so much, like the stuff when we were kids. He actually almost died because like nobody was feeding us when he was a baby. Like my parents would just leave for days and just leave us. And like I have memories of when I was a little kid of like trying to climb up onto the counter and get like any kind of white powder substance because I knew that his bottle was made out of formula. I just wanted to see if that's as good as the rest of the plant. Um, I knew what the formula looked like, that it was white powder, so I literally like got everything in the kitchen that was white powder and like mixed it up, which was like cleaning powders and stuff like borax ended up in there, kind of stuff. And fortunately, my parents came home um while I was like mixing all that shit together. Um, and then there was another time that like he was crying because he was cold and and I was like seriously, I was like just a little toddler trying to like be mom and babysit. So I put the heater in the crib with him. He's only 2 years younger than me, so I mean, if he was like a year old or less than a year old, then I was only like 3 years old. So it was crazy. Like when they finally took us out of there, he was like so starved that he almost died. Um, so yeah, I went through that and like foster care and all this stuff, and then like it's just like so messed up, and then like going to prison and it never ended, and I feel like my life is the same. Like all the abuse that I went through. Fortunately, my brother wasn't that brother. My other brother was, but fortunately that brother wasn't with us with all of the stuff that went on with my mom's one like extremely abusive boyfriend. Um, that's where I learned to fight. Like my brother was into Ninja Turtles and stuff, but I was getting like thrown through walls and shit when I was a little kid. Um, so So yeah, that's where I learned to fight back when a grown ass man wanted to try and get violent with me. Um, anyway, back to the oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to process all this. This sucks. Like I don't want to. Now I'm feeling lazy. I wanted greens, but without all the this part. um, yeah, he said that he actually like he was like cellmates with some of these guys. Um, like the one guy, um, he had done a mass shooting when he was 14 years old. Um, and he's like a totally different person now, but he got like a 186-year sentence. So that guy's life is over, been over since he was 14. And he told my brother that like because my brother asked him like why did you do it, what came over you, what was the motive, and the guy said that his mother was extremely abusive to him and would just like beat the crap out of him every day, and he finally just like snapped and got a hold of a gun and um and he said that he wasn't targeting anyone in particular, that he just like wanted revenge on the world because he had tried to report the fact that his mother was so abusive to him and nobody would do anything about it. Everybody just like blew him off and let it keep happening. Um, so it really sucks, you know? Like it's kind of one of those things where like they might as well have executed him if they're like, gonna take his life. Um, over like, oh, obviously what he did is really horrible, and the families are never going to get their kids back. And I think there was a teacher that was killed. There were like two kids and a teacher. um However, having said like might as well execute him, my brother said that he was like, the guy was like a computer wizard, and so I don't know that they had a lot of access to computers, but he taught my brother a lot of stuff about computers, and so um, it was because of that guy that my brother like went to school for cybersecurity and stuff once he got out of prison. Um, yeah, I was saying to my brother that I was surrounded by serial killers too in the military, but they were actually allowed to do it. Got away with it. So uh I don't know. I'm kind of like having been in the military and worked with a lot of different kind of people, I feel like it's such a waste that, we have these people who are actually like uh really intelligent who could be somehow useful, and they just like are rotting behind bars. Um I'm kind of somebody who thinks that like there's a lot of people who are like ableist, and they just want to like genocide anybody who isn't like up to their standard or whatever. But I feel like, if I was tasked like in the military, if they gave me a group of like any kind of people, um oh, it's all blurry now. Don't do that. Oh man, I don't know how to fix that. Hello. Oh, does it work now? Wow, that's fucking janky. Hold on, let me go off screen and try again. Okay. Anyway, I feel like they could like I mean, when you get orders in the military to do a task, like you don't get to say like, oh, this is difficult and like not fucking do it. So if they gave me a group of people, I would find a way to make it work. I would find work that they could do. I don't think that anybody is useless. Um, so like maybe instead of sending these goody goody boys to war, you know, like we could be like Russia and send the prisoners and stuff. I don't know, maybe that's horrible. Like on top of everything that he went through, send him to war. Maybe that's like even worse. Crazy though. Um, my brother, I'd be interested to like talk to more people about it. Like my dad said that like prison wasn't that bad because he was kind of like while he wasn't getting the opportunity to be a father to me and my brother, um there were a lot of younger guys in prison who saw him as their father figure. So uh, it's it's been a wild ride, this trip on Earth. What is up with all that? Um, all right. I still have a lot more of these to process, so I'm probably just gonna speed this up. Let's get this started. Like this normally makes more than that. What else is going on in the world? We got a new pope. Um, y'all, I posted on uh on Facebook that I felt like I deserved a Medal of Honor and a Medal of Freedom um for fighting back against like Prince Harry's censorship and stuff like that he's been trying to do here in America, trying to get rid of our First Amendment right. And so then Biden went over and he gave the Medal of Freedom to Pope Francis. And I was like, he's already the Pope. Like, why the fuck did he need a Medal of Freedom? You know, what the hell is up with that? I thought that was like really like off the cuff and inappropriate and everything. But then, but then this motherfucker gets like an undetectable strain of COVID and dies. And if you guys have if you've been following me at all, then you know what I think about what happened with the military world games in Wuhan that the US government refused to investigate. And Tom Hanks and his movie about unleashing a virus and all those people. Beyonce was wearing 2 weeks before the first cases of COVID at the military games. Um, because the athletes at the games got COVID symptoms, but they were denied antibody tests. So it was like a big old cover up. But anyway, Beyonce was wearing uh, a t-shirt of Mona Lisa in a mask, like they were all wearing when COVID first started. Um, this just goes in for like 20 minutes. Be there. Um, okay. Um, yeah, so I feel like all those people were in on it. To because they said that they were willing to do anything. Now, I'm saying this as a liberal. I I I voted for I wrote in Deb Haaland um on my ballot for the presidential election because I sure as hell wasn't gonna vote for Kamala Harris or Biden with all of their corruption. But I also didn't feel comfortable voting for Trump because, if because I have a stalker and I feel like it's really shitty that after serving this country for 12 years that the country would be like, oh, and if some guy fucking rapes you, then you have to carry his child. Like any of these like terrorists out there in the world could literally come to America and go on like a rape tour, raping women and knocking them up, and then America would be like, okay, well, I guess we have to give him paternal rights now. You know, fuck that shit. So I didn't vote for Trump. But I was like, I have to admit that I was like grateful when he was elected because of how like evil and corrupt the Democratic Party has become. Um, all of those celebrities are in on like surveillance capitalism. They're like constantly ripping people off and they think that you're supposed to be flattered when they rip you off and Oh yeah, so back to the Pope. They just reminded me in synthetic telepathy. They were like, weren't you gonna say something about the Pope? Yeah, so uh actually that one's kind of shaky again. So the Pope died and the Democrats have been obsessing for a really long time about how they like wanted a black pope. They wanted a black pope and a black president, and they want to make Meghan Markle the Queen of England so that they can have a black queen. And um, you know, I'm not racist, but yeah, I don't really know. I was gonna say that I understand like their desire to promote other people that look like themselves, but at the same time, like we're all fucking humans. Like, get over that shit. Everybody needs to get over that shit. So anyway, when when this when the Pope that we have now, Pope Leo the 14th, was nominated, um, they started like putting out all over the news that he's the first black Pope because he's got some like great grandparents or something who were black. So I think that Pope Francis was assassinated so that they could get their black Pope finally that they wanted. Period. Like one day he was looking like he still, he was in a wheelchair and stuff, but he was looking like he still had a good 20 years left in him. And then he was gone right after Biden went over there and it was like the illness that he got was all the same symptoms as COVID, but like some kind of strain that they didn't have a test for, I'm imagining. And because the Catholics how they are, like they'll let like pedophilia and stuff happen. So like they're not gonna do any kind of investigation. Um so yeah, that guy just got fucking knocked off and there won't be an investigation. And then and then um the first thing Okay, so the first thing that I noticed actually was that like Meghan Markle started wearing this like cross necklace that's very similar to this ankh that I've worn for like probably a couple years now. I just recently got this new one that says my name in Hebrew. Um, but she started wearing like a similar sized cross necklace and a smaller necklace. She wore it to the Beyonce concert that looks exactly like one that I just recently sent to my niece. Um, they spy on me, they spy on my family, and so I feel like there was something to that. Like she wanted me to know that that they're lurking on my niece also. Um, but she's like, now all of a sudden she's rediscovering her Catholic religion that she was brought up in after all these years that her and Harry have shown absolutely no interest in religion at all. Um, because now they want to get in with this new pope and make sure that he's pushing their agenda. And then the new pope came out and started talking about basically like speaking out in support of all of the like censorship kind of stuff. He didn't outright say that people should be censored, but he was like, people need to be kinder and softer, you know. They're trying to do this whole like soft girl thing to be anti-me because I'm a fucking military veteran. I served in the military for 12 years, you know? Like they've done it's been going on for years where like I'm pretty sure that she's the one that came up with the whole hurt people, it's like pick me, I'm so soft, it's like Honestly, y'all, if I was a man, the last thing I would want is some fucking wussy ass soft bitch. Cause like traditionally, women had to be survivors. Like the men would be gone at war, and the women had to maintain the land and the animals and, keep the family alive. And the women had to know how to do everything, So, and then also you want somebody who is going to be able to fight. If she's there like defending your property, you don't want to fucking come home from war to some chick who's like, you know, been knocked up by the invaders that came through while you were away at war. You don't want to come home from war to some chick who was like, ah, well, you were gone, so I couldn't function, I'm a female, I can't do anything. So I had to find a man to do everything for me, like fuck that. Nobody would want that. That's stupid. And this whole like useless soft girl thing is basically just perpetuated by prostitutes that want men to support them, to pay for everything to be done for them, Like it's not realistic. Um and yeah, the fact that like guys are into that kind of stuff is a lot of the reason why prostitutes are making so much money these days. And it's not just because like the prostitutes have convinced men that that is what is attractive, but because it's such a turn off to women who aren't like useless dumb hoes, that men would be into that, that we're just like losing interest in men. Like, I can do this shit on my own. I don't need that guy. Um, so I don't know. I mean, I feel like men should it's just like I think about the fact that like all these chicks on OnlyFans make way more money than the most hardest working, intelligent, educated men. And men did that to themselves. Like that's such a turnoff. That's not attractive. Um, but that's all right if you don't want me to be attracted to you, do your thing. I support the gay men when I go to Pride, I don't expect all these dudes to want to fuck me. In fact, like it's better if they don't, because then they leave me alone. Um, so yeah, soft girls, the Pope. So yeah, the Pope came out and was like, basically like repeating all the same shit that Meghan Markle's been saying. So obviously she made a point to get in contact with him already. I don't know what was, I always want to be hopeful about the situation and stuff, but I don't know that there's much hope with the new Pope. I also saw something in the news that was saying that they in Catholicism, they like recently like passed a new rule that if a child in confessional goes to the priest and tells the priest um that they're being molested, that and the priest takes it outside of the confessional and like reports it to the police, that the priest will be excommunicated, kicked out of the church, and banished to hell forever for trying to help a child that has been molested. So that's why kids grow up all fucking satanic and shit. That's the reality of that. When they're treated like shit by the religion and everything in the religion is evil, then then they start to see the dark side as the good side. They start to have sympathy for the devil. They start to become Luciferians. And um, something that's like kind of unique to Abrahamic religion actually is the whole concept of good and evil. Um, like there doesn't have to be a Satan or an evil figure in religion, but because of Abrahamic people making things this like good versus evil, it's like if you're a Satanist, you still fall under the umbrella of Abrahamic religion. You're still that religion, because you're like falling for it, but you know, their devil is a victim and stuff like that. There's so many other religions though, like you don't have to pick that one. So that's what I would say. Like, I mean, I have my own religious beliefs. I have my own spirituality. I'm a very spiritual person. Um, my religion is probably more like Native American religion and Hinduism, um, and animism. Like I'm somebody that like if I bump into a chair, I'll like apologize, like, oh, sorry, my bad, you know, like don't get mad at me, chair. So, yeah, I just feel like there's so many other options, and we don't have to keep doing this like predatory. Like Abraham was a lunatic. He was a schizophrenic. Like he tried to murder his child twice. Um, according to like, historical records and stuff, or not records, but like whatever it says like in the Bible and stuff, where the stories that the religious people tell, we're still not sure if when he did like the murder attempts on his children, if it was the same child or if it was two different children. But he, the main story of Abraham. Actually, I don't know if I'm gonna use these. They're kind of they're not as yummy looking as my garden ones. They're kind of dirty. This looks way healthier. Um, anyway, like the most famous story is that God ordered Abraham to sacrifice his child, and then he went to do it, and then like there was like a goat or a lamb or something that showed up, and so he saw it as a sign that God was like you don't have to sacrifice your child. But can you imagine like if you're the kid in that situation? I mean, those of us who have had abusive upbringings, we know exactly what that kid was going through, you know? I mean, his dad straight up like took him out, laid him on an altar, and like had a knife to his neck and was gonna murder him. And then they're like, oh, but the religious people, they're like, oh, but the child accepted that, it was for God and da 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 da. And it's like, did he have a choice? Did he really? Like, come on now. And so the other thing that Abraham, okay, so he also the in Islam, he's known for abandoning his like basically he couldn't get his wife pregnant. His wife was his sister. He couldn't get her pregnant because she was too old, and so he raped one of their servants and got her pregnant instead in order to have a heir or whatever, like men gotta have their male heir. And and so then his sister wife got pregnant finally and got jealous of the the slave and the child of the slave and told him, uh, God said that you have to, God said that you have to take this woman and this kid out into the desert and abandon them. And so, like miraculously, they were able to find water and survive. And so, that's like one of the big stories about Abraham. And then the other one was that he like had a vision or a dream or something that men were supposed to be circumcised, or the voices in his head or whatever told him that men were supposed to be circumcised. So this dude fucking rolled up at home one day and gathered all of his slaves and the husbands of his daughters and his children and stuff, and like just lined them up and went down the line and told them like whip out their junk and like botched their penises. And then he did it to himself. Like, I'm sorry, you guys, but that's a certifiable lunatic. Like, in 2025, if you try that shit, you're gonna be in a fucking loony bin. You know, like, there's no way. So, um, yeah, that's not my religion. Um, I personally do not support circumcision. Um, it's one of those things where like if you want to get a tattoo or a piercing or something, when you're an adult or you're like at least old enough and mature enough to make that kind of decision on your own, if that's something that you really, really want to do to yourself, then that should be your decision. But I think that the reality about circumcision is that well, I know from my own experiences that it makes men less sensitive, and so then they are more sexually aggressive with women, and they blame women for the fact that they have to be more sexually aggressive. Um, and so that like encourages more of a divide between men and women. And I think that um I think that it was kind of like a warlord kind of decision, like an oath of loyalty. They used to uh they used to like dry the foreskins and wear them as rings. Like you would gift the foreskin to the guy who you're like Lord, the Lord that you served. Um, so it's just like it's such a sick practice. It's so wrong. Um, they do it to little babies and like there's like some like Catholic church or whatever, or a couple of them that like claim to have the foreskin of baby Jesus and stuff like that. Like, um, oh, I shouldn't have like I ripped up all that dill in here and wasn't supposed to do that part yet. Um, yeah, not my religion. However, like it's kind of a weird thing because like my whole life I've always found statues and paintings of the Virgin Mary that look just like me. Well, not just the Virgin Mary, like all the goddesses. I find statues and paintings that look like me. Yeah, I feel awkward discussing my own religion. I mean, I talk about it on like Facebook and stuff, but it's one of those things where like definitely when you try to talk to people, or when I try to talk to people about my spiritual experiences and why I am the way that I am, um it's like this demon, this Luciferian demon takes over and they like start attacking me and stuff. So I kind of like avoid talking about the subject with words out loud out of my mouth, but I type about it a lot. um, there's just been a lot of things my whole life. A lot of dreams, a lot of experiences that I've had. My name, um, and stuff with my family, and then like the way that I get like gang stalked and stuff. Um, maybe I'm not ready to discuss all of that in this video just yet. I'm just gonna fast forward this part because this is like boring and rinsing leaves. So maybe I'll have more to talk about in a little bit. So, greens is one of the recipes that I first learned in foster care. Um, I had black foster parents who made greens, and then one of my other foster parents who was white, she would make kind of like a fried salad kind of thing. Um, so my recipe is kind of a mashup between the two. It's really not that difficult. You just steam the greens until they start to like cook down a little bit, and then add some olive oil, and then fry them and add like garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, salt, that kind of stuff that I use in like every recipe. Those are like my main ingredients. Some chili powder maybe if you want to spice it up a little bit. There's like millions of ways that you can make greens. Um, maybe a little bit of cumin. Uh, um, I'm gonna try and kind of keep track of what I'm doing as I'm putting stuff in there because I'm supposed to be giving you guys the recipe, but normally I don't cook with recipes. I just make it. Oh, forgot these. Um, these little seed pods that are on the broccoli, those are all edible too, and they have a lot of nutrition. And so this was like bolted broccoli that like didn't like form ahead the way that it's supposed to. So yeah, all of these are good to go in there. Let me pick these off real quick and add them. There's no food. This was actually like really cool because I've made greens from the garden like once or twice before. But like normally I always had to like buy it from the store, and these were like so much cleaner than anything from the store. Like not as much dirt on it, not as many bugs. Like I'm pretty stoked about being able to grow this and eat it. Um, oh yeah, so okay, so I had foster parents who made greens, and then also I went to Army basic training in AIT in the South, and so and then also like a lot of the cooks in the Army are from the South. So like sometimes in the DFAC they'll make um their own, like Southern food because there's like the standard foods that they have, like, hamburgers, hot dogs, salad bar kind of stuff. But every once in a while they'd like bust out some of their own recipes and stuff. So a couple times had greens in the Army. Um, yeah. I know that it's like typically a food that people think of as like a black people food or whatever. Um, but I think everyone should eat greens because they're really healthy. Um, I will go ahead and add these. I wasn't sure if I was going to add the flowers because some of them are a little wilted, but those are edible too. All of the brassica family flowers and seeds and stuff, the whole plant is edible and it's all good for you. So there you go. Um, this is gonna be way tastier than Meghan Markle's dried flower sprinkles on everything. I don't know about the dried flowers. I think if they're like fresh, um, then they're good to add to stuff, to salads and like fresh rolls and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know about the dried flowers. That's more for tea. Maybe I'll be one of those old ladies that's like, I drink herbal liquor. That's my secret. Herbal liquor and avoiding men. I'm gonna be a grouchy ass mean old lady. It's gonna be awesome. I've like planned for this my whole life. Like when I was a little kid, I was like, I'm gonna be that old lady that's like, get off my grass, like just tormenting the little kid. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm not like that. Mm, that's so good. I've already started getting gray hairs. You can't see them on camera. It kind of sucks that you can't see them on camera because it's cool in the mirror. I'll be sitting there like I got a disco ball in my head. Yeah. Um, It reminds me of when I went to Nova Alternative School and I started this like joke circle and there was like one day when I wore a shirt that was like um a disco ball and like they were all threatening that they were gonna like hang me upside down from the ceiling. Because it's all like a bunch of like punk kids and stuff at that school. Um, like their school mascot is a dead rat. So yeah. Anyway, greens are great. Oh, let me check on this. Let me check on this. We're almost done. I was gonna make like strawberry shortcake too, but I'll probably make that tomorrow. Looks like it's probably perfect. Can you see it? Oh, yummy. Good. Let that set up. And leave this knife out because I'll cut it with that. I'm so terrible. Like I pump myself up, you know. I'm just like I cook something, I'm like, shit, yeah, my cooking is so good. Like if nobody else is gonna compliment me, then I'll just compliment myself. Like I grew up in the LGBT community, so I've always been someone that's like I'll do like self-deprecating humor and stuff like that. But I don't see, as long as somebody isn't like a toxic narcissist that's like trying to drag other people down, um, I actually like it when people have like self-confidence and you know they know that they know their shit and they're proud of themselves and stuff like that. Like I'm not somebody who would be like trying to shame them for that like a lot of people do to me. When I was a kid in foster care, one of my foster parents like pulled me aside because my other foster sisters were like anorexic and bulimic and always like picking at their faces and stuff like that. And she pulled me aside and she was like, "What is wrong with you? Like you don't have any confidence issues. Like everyone has some kind of issue that they some kind of insecurity about themselves, you know, with their weight or their appearance or their intelligence or something, and you just go around like you think that you're the shit all the time." And I was kind of like, what are you getting at? Like she was trying to tell me that like she thought that I should develop some insecurities to like make other people feel more comfortable around me or whatever. No. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not, hell no. They're starting to get softer. Good. And dump the water out into the oil now. I would love to do these in like a regular steamer with like a bottom on it and stuff, but I don't have one that's big enough. You don't want to oil overboil them because then they get like they start getting like a funkiness food flavor. So just like you know, so they start to like get a little bit limp and soft. Oh, salt on there. I could chop up garlic, but I have garlic powder and I have granulated garlic, and I'm feeling lazy. And these actually like have more flavor. Um, if you guys are looking for like a good place to get spices, I recommend going to SAR Market. If you're in like the Pacific Northwest or somebody that has SAR, I think like a lot of people avoid going there because they're used to like Safeway and QFC and those kind of stores, and it's more of an Asian market, but they have like these giant containers of spices that it's like you know between $9 and $15, whereas like you only get like an eighth of this for the same for the same price at a regular store. Um, so oh shit, I was supposed to measure that. It's like a teaspoon of garlic. You actually, I think I might have some onion right there. The way that I get exploded. Okay, so I was just the other day, when I was doing my produce order, about the same teaspoon, 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 a teaspoon of each, um, black pepper. When I was doing my produce order from Imperfect Foods, um, I noticed that something that I recommended in a recipe recently, um, either on here or on Facebook, a little bit of chili powder, maybe like half a teaspoon of chili powder, some cumin, um, half a teaspoon. Sorry, I'm like all over the place with this. But one of the ingredients that I had suggested was sold out, and I was like, I wonder if it's sold out because I suggested it. So then the way that these celebrities exploit me, Bella Hadid was in the news saying that she was gonna be really pissed off if something sold out because she suggested it. And then another thing, um, I recently, like, I've never ever in my life been able to get a manicure to last, to get nail polish to last more than like a day or two because I'm really rough on my hands. And I don't like having like acrylic nails and stuff. I like to be able to scratch and like, actually feel it. Um so I discovered builder gel and started using that, or just used that. This is the first time that I've used it, and I painted my nails green. And so so then I'm like looking at the news today, and they're saying that like this is the trending nail color right now. Like every single thing that I do, they're like watching me and then like repeat it to like make money for themselves, basically. It's fucked up. So fucked up. It's like copy culture has gotten like really bad. Like and then there's like another thing, like my zucchini toast recipe that I just recently posted. Um Somebody took the recipe and didn't credit me, and they were like, this is the best breakfast that you'll ever have. It's so good that it should be illegal. I eat zucchini toast like every day. Um because it's just like really easy and quick to make and it's good. Um I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna like be inspired by somebody, then let them know. Like, what the hell is people's problem that like they feel like it's a sign of weakness to say that somebody inspired you? I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a fucking zucchini toast, but yeah, I like just recently posted that, and then like immediately people like, these YouTubers that are just like constantly trying to like they're monetized and they're trying to like constantly post like anything to make money. I personally don't like to feel like what I'm doing is redundant. And if it is redundant, then I'm definitely gonna give a shout out to the person that I'm copying and try to direct you to them. Um, because that's just the right thing to do. It's like I don't know how people live with themselves when they don't have their identity and they're like ripping off other people. Okay, so the last part of this meal, and we're almost done. Imitation pulled pork from Jackfruit. I hope this is actually good. This is pulled pork is something that I miss about eating meat. Um, it seems so gross to me now. Like I actually like wanted to be a vegetarian when I was a little kid, and my family would not let me. Like I would get like screamed at, like you're gonna fucking eat that, kind of. You're not getting away with this. Um, and so when I went into foster care, there were some foster parents that would let me and some that wouldn't. And then like smells good. Check it out, check it out. Can you see? Can you see? Dang, I might want to just microwave this. I'm gonna get it in a pan, but vegetable oil, stir on medium heat for 5 minutes, on microwave for 1 to 2 minutes. If heating in the pouch, that always freaks me out to like put stuff in the microwave in a plastic pouch. I don't seem healthy. Once sauce has thickened, add 1 tea. I don't know if that's a tablespoon or a teaspoon of vegetable oil and continue to cook for 3 to 5 minutes. So basically, you just warm it up. Wow. Oh, it's gonna be so bomb. Cornbread and greens and pulled pork, guys. Oh my gosh. Um, I'm really glad that like vegetarian food has come a long way. Um, but anyways, I was vegetarian when I first went into the military, and I made it all the way through basic training, and it was like freaking nightmare. Like I looked like by the time basic training was over, I looked like I had, spent a year in Auschwitz or something. Like I was super emaciated because they wouldn't let me have extra portions to make up for the fact that I wasn't eating the main meat portion. They wouldn't like let me have extra vegetables or salad or anything. Um, I got like really super skinny because they were like trying to bully me, force me to eat meat, basically. Um, and then finally, because I had made it through basic training, um, my family accepted me being vegetarian. But then when I was in AIT, they had like these bomb ass hamburgers every day in the DFAC, and I finally broke down one day and started eating meat again. And I ate meat for a few years, and then this chick, one of my coworkers in the army, she was like a hardcore meat eater kind of person, who you would think would like never, ever, ever even consider being vegetarian. And all of a sudden she announced one day that she had been vegan for like a couple of months. And so I was like, well, shit, if she could do it, I had never done veganism before. Um, and when I was a little kid living on the res in a foster home, and like none of the native kids would hang out with me because I was white. I like made friends with the cows and would play with them all day. I know that I talked about that in a previous video. Sometimes it's hard for me to remember like what I already talked about. But anyway, when I saw that this woman was vegan, I was just like, I'm a shitbag, Like I just like totally betrayed my cow friends. And so then I decided that I was gonna be vegan again, or be try veganism. Um and honestly, like I do have usually it's like a couple of times a month where I'll cheat and I'll do like some kind of a dairy product like cheese or something, or like I'll order a pizza or something like that. Um but I don't eat anything that's like murdered. Um and if I had my own farm and I knew that the animals were cared for and stuff, like I said, I would still I would eat a lot more like dairy and eggs. Um I don't have a problem with honey. Um, I'm still kind of torn on it though, because I don't know if it's like sustainable. Um, the stuff that you hear in the news about like the bee population is dwindling and like humans are taking away all of the honey that the bees actually like they harvest it because they need it to survive. Uh so I feel kind of guilty about that. I don't eat a lot of honey though. Um yeah. So anyway, man, I feel like if I served this up to somebody and they didn't know, let me see. Let me try a little piece of this. Let me see. Got the flavor, but it's chewy, but it's like a little bit soft. Like it's almost like more of a mushroom texture. But maybe once it fries up a little bit more, it'll lose some of that softness. Or two, I have like so much garden work to do. The garden work is endless. Like normally you get a break during the winter time, but I feel like I was working on my garden all winter. Like there was always something that had to be done. Well, I was like growing food all winter also. And next winter I'm gonna be growing even more food all winter now that I've got the cracky method. So hell yeah. Tons of food. Yes, almost time to eat. Oh, fish this up. The only thing I'm gonna complain about is like this is only like that's like one serving, maybe two. Okay, it's two for me, but like eating food is so freaking expensive. So freaking expensive. That was like $8 for that pack. It is these days. All food is getting expensive. That's why I have been harping on everyone for, you know, 15 years now to start gardening, teach kids to garden, get more self-reliant because when the food system goes down, people need to be able to support themselves. Yeah, there you go. Some nice moist cornbread. You see that? And you see it? Mmm. Mmm. Jalapenos and all that. The flaxseed looks good and it's really healthy. Boop. Man. Glad to be. I should see if I need anything. I was just gonna. Ooh. Now the way that my foster parents, my black foster parents that would make this was with like diced up ham that they would add into it. So that's what I'm doing the pulled pork, but it's on the side instead of mixed in with the greens. Mm. Nope. That's what she wanted. All right. I'm not trying to be narcissistic when I look at myself in the screen, but it's just like normally when you're talking to a person, you're looking at the person, and so it's easier for me like mentally to like look at myself than it is for me to look at the camera lens. Um, I'm trying to break that habit, but it's a little difficult. It's weird. It's awkward. It was crazy when I was going to school at University of Washington because like we had classes that were over Zoom and like we would like log into the class and I'm somebody that like I like to dress nice. Like my clothing isn't expensive. Like, most of the stuff that I wear is from Goodwill. This is from Goodwill. This is from Amazon. And I ordered these skirts from Amazon too. They were like five skirts for $35 or whatever. Um, like all these different patterns and stuff. So I'm like, like bougie on a budget style. And like Macklemore, like popping tags at the thrift store kind of style. Um, but I like to dress nice. I'm not somebody that like growing up in foster care, and even like with my grandparents. Well, my grandparents were just strict about it. Like you're not allowed to leave the bedroom in pajamas unless it's like Christmas morning. And then in foster care, like the foster parents could actually get like their license revoked if the kids aren't like dressed appropriately. Um, so it's just one of those things where I was raised that, you don't go around in sweatpants and pajamas and stuff like that. But these days, that's like how a lot of people dress. Um, and so I would like log into my University of Washington classes and have like a nice outfit on for the Zoom call. And the class would start out with like all the cameras on. And then it was like all the students in the class would like boycott me. It was like this like microaggression thing where they would like all start turning their cameras off because they were like mad that I wasn't like, you know, wearing boxer shorts and in a sweatshirt for class, because I could, because I was at home kind of thing. Yeah, that was an interesting thing. I had never done like Zoom calls or anything like that, so I didn't know what to really expect when I started. And yeah, there's Zoom was like its own culture. It was like during COVID and stuff. Like people enjoyed the fact that they could just like be lazy and they wear like the suit jacket and tie and everything, but no pants. Kind of stuff going on. Um, and I'll like dress down. Like if I'm working on my garden and stuff, like you'll see me around town if I have to run to like the hardware store or something and I'll have on, some dirty taped up rubber boots and like, cargo pants and a hoodie like if I'm actually doing something where it's appropriate to be dressed down, like but I yeah, if I'm leaving the house, I tend to like, and also it's like an army thing. Because in the military, uh we're in our uniforms so much that like when you finally get a chance to get out of your uniform, you want to like express yourself and show your coworkers like that you got style, that you're not just like, the person in the uniform that they see every day, and um kind of like, show your personality. And so military people are very like, they take advantage of any opportunity that they can to dress up and look sharp and look nice. um like not all military people, but I would say most. So so yeah, I'm not I'm not dressed like this because I'm like trying to be an asshole to people or whatever by like, not I mean, I don't think it's like that special or anything, but it's just like I think like a lot of people have a problem with it. Like they want me to wear like, jeans and a t-shirt or sweatpants or pajamas or whatever, and that's just not how I was raised. Not what I'm used to. I think this is all done. Those are probably done. I'm just gonna assume because it's warm. Um, some greens. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is just like two all of those greens that I picked. It took down like so much. I mean, I was expecting that, but I thought I'd have like twice as much as this when I was done. Let's put that little purple one on top because it looks cute. Looking cute. Little purple one. Okay. And then get some of this in there. I'm gonna have another serving tomorrow. So I'm not gonna put all of it. And then I have no couth. I'm gonna use a spoon. I'm all tarnished. I wonder if I could fix that with like some polish. Two-door plate. I don't know. Okay, let's just try a little bite for you guys here before I go sit down and eat. I am like sweating. It is hot in here. I need to like turn a fan on. Ugh. Let me just a little bit more of this. Get a good bite of everything. Come here. Well, it's gonna be hot and I'm gonna burn my mouth. No, not yet. I didn't mean to do that. It's good. It's good. Okay. I'm white, so I'm not allowed to make the OK symbol anymore. That's something that I like grew up doing. I think that that's another thing that happened because of me, because I was talking about like um I had posted about how like men in the military who were like racist and stuff would use dog whistles, which like if you don't know, it's like sayings and symbols that people like might not recognize. kind of like the gay people, how they do like Friend of Dorothy. You know, like the rest of the people won't recognize it around you if you say it, but then someone else who has like that same ideology will be familiar with the term. Um, so I was writing about that on social media, and then I think that like the people that gang stalk me, like Suicide Squad, Beyonce, those kind of people, they like got the idea that that I mean, okay, was never like a dog whistle thing that I know of, but I think that like Beyonce, like those kind of people turned it into one intentionally just so that they could like take something away from white people, you know, like a totally innocent thing that everybody does, but like now white people can't do it anymore, or you're considered racist. And you know, it got to the point where like there was like a guy in an auditorium who was like I think it was like somebody in the military or something, like picking something, like he was like picking something off of his uniform, and it looked like he was making that symbol. So it was like all over the news. We've got these people, these racists in the military. So yeah, I think it was like the people that gang stalked me thought like that they would like turn it into some huge issue. Anyway, I don't use the okay sign that much. Like I sometimes would like anyway. Look at how fucking delicious that looks. And it tastes just as good. It's so good. Mm, mm, mm. Perfect combination. I'm done. I'm done with this video. I'm gonna go find something to watch and sit down and drink my tea and eat my greens. And so another successful video. If you have any questions about the recipe or anything that I discussed, bring it up in the comments. All right. Mm.